Hey, and welcome back to the History of Fleetwood Mac. I'm Anita. Today we're going to start in Volume 11, Episode 1 of my Stevie Nicks and Fleetwood Mac Scrapbooks, and we're continuing on with Volume 2 of the Tango of the Night era. But before I get started on that, I did want to point out, if anybody had noticed, or even if they hadn't, it needed to be brought up, in two of my prior videos for Tango of the Night, there were some pictures of the band from Tango in the Night, some of the ones that I had done 3D and some of the ones that I had done kind of like in the country setting with the Doors that I was so proud of. Those were not my pictures to share. And I have two really good friends that I've had since 1997, neither of which that I've ever met. And I value their friendship dearly. And we used to have like a real big, like a trade ring. It's pretty much since I ever first got on the internet, I met these ladies like pretty much right away in my Stevie Nicks world of meeting fans. And we have, continued to trade and buy from each other, but mostly trade in this little ring for, 1997. So going on quite some time. And the photos that I shared were one of the ladies. And I just showed them, showing my work, and like I was so proud and like part of the whole Tango on the Night, in my head, knowing perfectly well that they're not mine to share, just like I'm sharing the pages, and just completely vacuous, stupid moment. And I feel about this big. And one of the two girls called me out on it, and then I apologized to the other one, of which I've not heard back. But just I'm putting it out there for anybody that's just not my way, and I felt terrible, and I try so hard not to do that. And if you saw them and you enjoyed them, they were not mine, but still, I'm really sorry. And I just want to preface that. And that's why those videos got pulled. So I've gone through this book and I've double checked and triple checked, and I'm confident everything is mine. And I am pretty much every time I do show something, or in the past when I've said, I'm not sure, maybe this is a friend's mine or something like that. But those ones I just completely out Space Cadet, just out to lunch on. And this is entirely not related and of no excuse to that thing, but I am just like completely not really in my right mind lately. I don't want to go into it. I'm nothing scary to my knowledge. Nothing, huge is happening. But if you see my lovely markings and stuff today, that's from, here is fine, but I was back in the hospital and they were trying to find blood. And I had been in the hospital earlier in October, and they'd gotten blood from this arm. They'd taken blood from this arm. Oh, there's still a little bit of a bruise here. And so they're like, oh, we don't want to hit that one again. So they tried to find one over here. Ended up going to my hand. It is a nightmare. And but with all that's going on, there's just been some pain meds, which I did bring up. And like I said, I'm speaking out of term. I made a big mistake like I did like that. And that's really not me. That's completely not me. I'm a scatterbrained, 100,000%, with the addition of just some things going on, and the pain med here and there. I am so sorry. So going forward, please forgive me. My friends out there, please forgive me, and let's just continue enjoying what I do have that is mine. And I have so much to give, and I'm so proud of everything that I have of my own. And these girls have their own collections and amazing, beautiful, amazing stuff. Which is theirs to share, not mine. So again, I'm sorry, and just going to go forward with that. So in the second book that started out, kind of like the first book, started out with having the long box, and my long box even had a hype sticker thing on it, which was kind of cool, which I was able to salvage. So I thought it was kind of cool that each book started with some form of the album cover. And this one being the long box, like I said, that I've had forever. And I want to say this is a pretty old page because I did this. And then I know that this compilation, you can just even tell by the wear on the paper. This is something I've had for many years. And this is an old collage page, this and this, because this is just stuff that I had at the time. And I can just tell, I know that this piece of paper and this one in particular are two things I've had forever. And I think we're going to get into a point. I think this is a copy of one of the pictures, but I'll be reminded of this in a minute, because one of these pictures is taken of the gentleman who owns Star World, or owned. I'm not sure that it's still operational. I think it is. And Anyway, he's with Stevie in one of the pictures, and it's a really old picture, but yeah, I think this one might be an enlarged version of that same picture. So those are our opening pages. This was out of the Rolling Stone magazine, the review on Tango on the Night, combined with some other little random stuff. And I think that this got put in the way it did. This is the Tango on the Night review from Rolling Stone. But then this got put in, I think this was already on a piece of paper. So I was unable to fix it and take the tear out, kind of fix the seam, which normally I would have. Then there's just some small other little parts. You can also tell this one's done a while back just because I was not using the right glue at the time. So that was like a little glue dot that started to come through the paper. We have the review. We have this little snippet. We have a little Tango on the Night VHS little ad. That VHS was $25. Good grief. At the time, that was probably kind of a lot for a VHS. And it's not even the whole article. Damn. Just kind of stops mid part there. I hate when I do that. And then it looks like another little review of Tango on the Night. Tango on the Night, the album, not the VHS release. On the other side, we have some of the newspaper articles, of which you'd seen there was many, of the of Lindsay leaving the band and Rick and Billy joining. Nice picture of Rick Vito here. Does not say what paper this is from. Another early collage that I had was some more of these great live photos of Stevie. And this, I've mentioned how much I love this photo. This was I think this was out of there was a magazine called Rock Express that was put out by Musicland, which was another record store chain. And this is just a little piece on Tango on the Night. Fleetwood Mac launched their first major tour in 5 years this month to promote their latest album, Tango on the Night, but they'll be lacking one major component, Lindsey Buckingham. Last month, Mick, Christine, John, and Stevie announced Buckingham's departure to concentrate full-time on a solo career. I think it was becoming apparent from recent interviews, Mick Fleetwood said, that Lindsey was going to leave the group. Now that he's left, I know it will be for the benefit of everyone involved. Buckingham's departure came as no surprise. In fact, all the musicians knew about it before Tango was even pressed. Back in 1985, Buckingham said in a prepared statement, I was working on my third solo album, and when the band came to me and asked me to produce the next Fleetwood Mac project, at that point, I put aside my solo work, which was 50% finished, and committed myself to the next 17 months to produce Tango on the Night. It was always our understanding that on completion of the Tango album, I would return to my solo work in progress. The two members filling Buckingham's shoes are Billy Burnett and Rick Vito. Burnett has previously worked and toured with Mick Fleetwood's side group, The Zoo, and Rick Vito is well known for his participation as lead guitar in Bob Seger's recent Like a Rock album and tour. Billed as the Shake the Cage tour and featuring the singles Big Love, Seven Wonders, and Little Lies, Fleetwood Mac is planning nearly 50 concert dates in most major North American cities. So here. Next to that, we have this. I thought this was a really nice little trade ad, whatever, for the single. And yet another sticker by Jasmine Leslie, the talented and beautiful Jasmine Leslie. And a ticket stub from Fleetwood Mac, November '87. Not one of my shows, just one I've received or purchased over the years. Really nice original picture by Neil Preston of Christine. And then going with this one is this companion piece here. Here. I have some really, really nice Christine pictures coming up. All of them are nice, but I mean, just some really 87 and 1990. I'd say I have some of the better Christine photos, I think. Nick and more of that drum vest thing. And then this is the review out of Cream magazine, I'm pretty sure, which I'd shown in my magazines. I have that one on the cover. It's where there's kind of like all in the different colors. They're all over the cover on that one. And then a review from Rolling Stone magazine, Fleetwood Mac at Largo, Maryland, and December 3rd, 1987. Right here. Another little magazine page. And then kind of my little cool part for this video today is this little piece here. I only have it in the scrapbook because I received this puzzle. I'm not sure where I got it. I think it had to have been eBay. And it's a Tango in the Night puzzle. And the plastic that was on the puzzle keeping it together was coming apart. And let's see here. I think that, yeah. So it came on this here. So it was wrapped on just this kind of color board, which kind of went with the theme, the color. And then it's all in plastic, and this is what it looks like. I did my best shot. So I have it framed. Oh, no. I have tried standing it up a couple times so I could see how I'd show you. It comes apart really easily. And I've thought about gluing it. You know, you could buy some of that glue to, keep puzzles together, but I just don't want to. I think I want to leave it the way it is. Hold on, I'll put it right back together and I'll show you the other side here. Let's try that one more time. So that is side one. Sorry for the glare. And then the other side of it, which is easier to see without the glare. So finally, I just gave up from it not staying in its plastic anymore in its original container. So I took it apart, and just to keep the little insert promo thing of it, because I don't even think it says promo here. We'll check in a second here. But just because it says anything in the board, I put the puzzle in the frame. Sorry, still trying to concentrate on that. That's how I should have done it, huh? Derp. Like keeping the back on there. So I put the puzzle in the frame, and then I put the little paperwork piece that came with it in my scrapbook. So I thought that was kind of a neat little thing. And I've had this quite some time, and it's definitely one of my favorite items. And next to one of my favorite items is this poster as well. This is from a magazine. Funny enough, this one is signed. And this is from an old magazine. This was before like Gotta Have Rock and Roll. It's kind of like a company like that, and not Winco, but another one. Can't remember their names right off the top of my head, but it was a signed poster, 20 by 28. It was $250 at the time. But funny enough, I was able to find the poster, and I think I mentioned this before, and there'll be a separate video on it. But this poster is featured in the background of that 70s show when the kids are all talking in a circle. They always go point to point. This is in the background. And it's the only one I've ever seen in person, is the one that I have. And I took mine to Mick Fleetwood at one of his signings, and he signed it for me. And there's a whole story about that, but he did a whole inscription to me, and he drew like him in a little drum kit, like a little drawing at the bottom and stuff, and all in that little circle like that. And it's again, another one of my prized possessions. But like I said, there's a video with that I'll do at some point with pictures from that and other stuff I had signed, and then that poster as well. But just kind of something I had found in a magazine, and then I don't know if I had the poster first, saw this, and then found the poster later, because I definitely didn't get it from this company because it was signed already. The poster that I got was blank, and then I had it signed on my own when I met them. So that is my video for part 1 of volume 11. And thank you so much for and then the second little kind of goes with the theme here. I hope you enjoyed this additional picture. And thank you for your patience. And sorry I had to pull those videos. I think I might redo them and just not show the pictures that don't belong to me. Just every time I say it, I just feel dumb. How else to put it. But anyway, thank you again so much for joining me, and we'll see you next time. Bye.